but still have to pay in something. But decisions like that are outside the scope of the powers of the municipality of the City of New London, so we have to work with what we have. But as I mentioned earlier in the program, the university that I teach at in Boston voluntarily contributes to the city.
Might work,
well,
where
yes,
law might not.
Or calling out, because you have to say to these institutions, you benefit from our police, even though you have your own security. You benefit from public promotion of the city. If we're doing redevelopment efforts and as a result the city is expanding and growing, more people will want to come here and go to Conn College and perhaps pay higher tuition to do it because of efforts that we're making as a city. So maybe you need to be part of that, and maybe that's not annual contributions, maybe it's a one-time contribution to a specific redevelopment project or something like that. But I think that those negotiations can be held with these institutions in good faith, and we want to say these are good institutions. You talk about L&M Hospital that has employed so many local people in New London, has been a great institution in New London. You talk about Conn College, Mitchell College, it's right across the street from me. I walk my dogs in Mitchell Woods, apart from the snow, any other day. These are good institutions, so we're not demonizing them, but we are saying in a city this small, if you're going to be completely off the tax rolls, we have to do something here to get you more involved in the broader community.
Right, there's a fairness issue that the city should not just be subsidizing.
I also want to ask you something else. You have the hospital and Connecticut College, I don't know so much Mitchell, that own a lot of property in New London. I've seen maps where the amount of property they own is a lot, and yet they are not paying any taxes on any of this property either. Is that right?
No, any title that's held by a nonprofit will be exempt. And one of the things that we need to do is, if we can't say, all right, you already own these properties, we can't kick you out of them or demand that you pay taxes on them, but one of the things we can try to do is restrict the growth of that space, so that when some of these institutions want to expand, we say, hey, we're not going to give you the approvals for that unless you agree to some voluntary contribution program or something like this. I mean, we don't have to. We might not be able to do much about the nonprofits that are already occupying city property, but we can certainly think twice before we approve more of them and more of them to come in and take more and more property off the tax rolls. We should definitely slow that growth rate as much as we can within the bounds of, legality.
I have one more question for you, Daryl.
Sure.
Okay, one warning. We have 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So I have to make it quick then.
Okay.
If you become mayor of New London, what kind of role are you going to take as far as the Board of Ed goes?
The new mayor is going to be an ex officio non-voting member of the Board of Ed. So, the mayor is not going to be able to directly affect the education budget or education policy because state law assigns that to the Board of Ed. But as an ex officio member of the Board of Ed, which I believe would entitle the mayor to also be privy to any privileged meetings of the Board of Ed, any closed sessions as well, would be to advocate for reform as strenuously as possible. And if you go, Dennis, to my website, finizioformayor.com, you can look. The very first section of my platform deals with education and some of the reforms that I would hope to advocate for, not only to save costs, but to improve the quality of education in New London. Because if we want to grow our community, if we want to attract people here, and if we want to help our children here, we have to provide a better education than we're providing. So I would use that advocacy role as strong as I could.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks a lot. In the 1 minute you have left, do you want to tell people how they can find out more or get involved with your campaign?
Sure. We are reaching out in every way possible. There are some articles in the New London Day that people can search that we've also linked on our website, which is finizioformayor.com. But we're also on Facebook as Finizio for Mayor. We're also on YouTube as Finizio for Mayor. And with your permission, we'll rebroadcast this show as we rebroadcast any of my shows that we gain permission to rebroadcast. Any articles that mention me, we link my platform, my resume, my background, along with ways to get in touch with me. I'll talk to you directly. And once the weather gets better, I'll be going door to door. And I hope to get to every home, every housing unit, every apartment if I can get there to meet with as many people in New London as possible to hear from you about this campaign in this office.
Well, thanks, Daryl.
Thank you, Ronna.
And We'll see you when you're knocking on my door, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Next week on Thinking Green, our guests will be Todd O'Donnell and Laura Cordes from the Shoreline East Coalition, who will be talking not just about commuter rail to New Haven, but other rail opportunities.
Sounds great.
So we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.